The third film on liquid level, or indeed the third film on level, is about level switches. And the level switches, they do not, as the other detectors here, detect what exact level we have in a tank, but rather if we are above or under a certain level. So if I have a tank here, maybe I would like to have a level switch here, which tells us that the level is now critically low, so I will have to refill, for example, here. Or I could have a level switch up here, which tells us that as I fill the tank that, well, I can stop now because the tank is close to full. So the level switches are used to detect given levels in a tank, and that is exactly where we have the detector placed. For example, so they are for so-called point level detections. And sometimes for interface measurement. An interface measurement is where you have the difference between 2 points in a tank, where you, for example, have here the liquid level here. So you have air, water, and sand, for example, if you have sand buildup. So the point detector could be detect the level here and not detect if we have where we have the air water interface, but the water sand interface, for example. They are often used in control systems to control valves and to generate alarms. And they are often low cost compared to level gauges, as you only need to be able to tell if you have a condition or not. So they are truly 1-bit digital. One principle is the electric conductivity, and that is used, of course, for conductive materials, where you have 2 probes and you apply a voltage. And then you you have something like, for example, a light bulb, and you connect it like this. When the liquid rises and the liquid touches the second probe, you have a closed circuit. There will be current flowing in the circuit, and the light bulb will shine with a bright light. But there may be problems with foam, splashing and waves, which will give false alarms. Another principle is a float switch. We had in the gauges, we had a float gauge, but this is a float switch. And you see here, this device is hinged here, and as liquid fills up, that will float on the liquid and will connect when the gap there is closed. So therefore you detect when this one floats up to a certain level. This is, for example, very popular in bilge pumps in boats, where you have a boat, you have the bilge here, there will be some water there, and if you have a level switch here, a float switch, that one, when the water reaches that level, it will start a pump, which pumps out the water from the bilge. And they have a relatively short lifetime because of mechanically moving parts, and they may be subject to growth of or icing. But then again, often they are very easy to change for a new one, and there is of course no calibration needed, so the change is really easy. Example with the boat bilge again. Change that level switch for a new one, and the pump will start on exactly the same level, since it's attached at the same place as the last one. Vibrating fork is a device that has 2 blades like this, and they vibrate. They are excited by a piezo electric element. So they vibrate, for example, at 50 Hz, 100 Hz, and the vibrations are, of course, very small. You can hardly feel it when you hold it between your fingers. So here it looks like it's vibrating with several centimeters, but really they are moving up and down with a fraction of a millimeter. This means that they really do not have any mechanical movement outside their flexible region, so the lifetime is very good, since this will not suffer from fatigue, metalltrötthet, in this area here. Just like a tuning fork, you know, tuning fork, when you try to tune a guitar or something, a tuning fork will stop vibrating when you, for example, dip it into water, when you hold it with your hand. Tuning fork looks like this, basically. And you hit the ends here with an impulse, and it will swing with a given frequency, and I can stop the swings by holding my hand on the fork side here. So, and same here, if I have this vibrating fork in free air, it will vibrate with a given amplitude. When I dip it into something, it will vibrate with a lower amplitude. And I can dip it into water, I can dip it into grains, solids, pellets, whatever. And so this is useful for different applications. So, and it's very, very much used.